Okay, you guys go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So, hello everybody, and welcome to this fantastic event. And these are the performers for you today.
Can we give a round of applause for the amazing Tony? So good evening and welcome to the Black Men's Consortium Community Engagement event. My name's Tony Seeley, and all these amazing men you'll meet in a moment. So, what's on the menu tonight? These amazing group of men have been working over the last 7 weeks, meeting each other, exploring togetherness, finding out what they have in common, what they have not in common, and talking and debating and arguing and essentially trying to build some solidarity amongst themselves. And what they've come up with is some material that they want to share with you tonight. To kick off the proceedings, I'd like to say that we're going to start with a libation.
Okay, greetings everyone. Welcome to the Men's Consortium. Thank you. To pour libation, usually for libation, we want to honor the ancestors, those who have come before us and who are with us still in the spirit realm. Reach out with any ancestors that have passed, grandparents, mothers, fathers, siblings, loved ones. I'll start by saying to Grandad Everton DeVere Carter, we love you, we feel you, and I hope you guide us and protect us. Thanks to those who have come and paved the way for us so that we can walk in their footsteps. We give thanks. We give thanks. Ashe. Ashe.
So, the next part of this evening is where you get to what we call be warmed up slightly. See how warmed up we are. Okay, off you go.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Keep on. to happen now, we have 4 sketches that you're about to see. At the end of the 4 sketches, we'll have a little bit of a debate and discussion and interrogate what we witnessed in those sketches.
Gary, you are a dear loved one. You will be missed truly. If only you could be around for longer. You'll be missed forever.
Oh my God, he was such a great teacher. You're going to be missed by everyone. Oh.
Your dad? Is that your dad?
He was.
Oh my God.
Look
He's
at
gay, yeah?
Yeah, look at him, he's a faggot. Look at him now.
Rest in peace.
You hear that, Dad? Rest in peace, rest in piss. You hear that, Dad?
What? That's our dad. Why?
Huh?
It's our dad. Why are you talking to him like that?
Who are you talking to? He ain't my dad.
It's your dad.
What do you mean he's my dad? Who
What do
cares?
you mean? What are you going to do with this?
Oh, but he's my friend, don't talk to him like that.
This is our dad. He died. Have some compassion.
Forget him.
What do you mean? He's 50% of you.
50% my foot. Burn in hell.
That's so disrespectful. How could you? How could you?
No, my wife doesn't love me. My lover doesn't love me. My children hate me. There's no hope for me. Oh, end it now. Everything's just crashing around me. Why is this happening to me? What I want to do is just be loved. Why? Everyone, my children, my wife, my career, everyone, because of stupid people who are so homophobic.
You're a waste of space. You're for burn in hell. Nastiness.
You should kill yourself.
You should die right now. You're scum. Disgrace to your family. How can you call yourself a man with that type of behavior? It's a bonfire.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Everything is your fault.
You disgust me. You make me sick.
You don't deserve to be here.
Why did this happen to me? Okay, it's not that bad. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Mistaken identity, that's what it is. It's all good. Listen, it's all good. No. Listen, it's a mistaken identity. All it is, there's 2 youths and the university that have got it in for me, and they've put my face. They've put my face. No.
Don't you ever
No. Listen, please. Listen,
It's
it's not me. I love you. I'm not gay. I'm bisexual. What? Just trust me. Believe me, please. Darling, I love you. I don't love a man. That's disgusting. Why would you think that? We've been married 20 years. Come on, please. Hello, don't hang up. Okay, right. This is all a misunderstanding. There are 2 little youths that don't be cut and pasted my picture. I can work this way out. No problem. You can work yourself out. Work it out.
Dad!
Son,
Dad!
how you doing?
What the fuck is this?
What are you talking about? Listen, I can explain. All it is two.
You're trending on Twitter!
Well, I don't know what it is.
Snapchat!
That's not me.
Sir!
That's not
Look
me.
at A.
That's listen.
Dad!
Sir!
I don't-
What was he doing?
I have no idea what you're referring to.
Why,
That
sir?
is not me.
What is this?
Listen, I'll explain. What if you give me a second?
Young
No,
man!
no, no. All it is
Snapchat,
all it
TikTok,
is.
everything.
No. Somebody has put my face
No,
on
no,
somebody's
no.
body. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. Listen, we've had a real terrible day. Yeah, basically, it's just a complete mess. Out clubbing. Let's do it. Let's go clubbing. Yeah. Let's go.
Hey, I can be free. Of course you can. Come on. Hey,
Sir!
hey.
Look at it!
No, I can't be.
Snap it, yeah?
Oh, damn, bro.
You won't want to be with.
No.
If that's that much to it!
Hey, stop it. Hey, wait till we go to school.
I'm getting an egg extinction!
No.
Oh, wow. It's so great that we can just be free and I can finally be free. But I can't come out because you know what would happen. You know, it will ruin my career and your career. But one day we will be able to say to the world that there's nothing wrong when two of the same sex love each other. Yeah? Okay, let's go.
We'll have to have the conversation.
Yeah, okay, come on.
Hey, son. Was that girl I saw with you the other day? What's the matter?
That girl, she's just a friend.
Okay.
I'm seeing somebody else.
Oh. And who is she?
His name is Michael.
You telling me you're a batty boy?
Yes! I'm a batty boy, a queer, a puff, or a faggot. Stop! Whichever word you choose to use, because you would always use those words whenever you saw a gay couple in the street trying to change me. And you didn't care about how that made me feel.
I didn't know you were that way kind. So, how long are you and this Michael been going?
6 months. And I love him, Dad.
Have you had sex under my roof with this?
Yes. And he's not the first.
You have had sex with men under my roof! Who else has known about this?
My friend, the girl you saw, and just Mom. I didn't tell you because I knew it would be hard with the church and
You mean to tell me all this time you've been lying to me?
And why did I have to lie? Why do you think that I had to
The fuck out of me, boy!
Why do you think I have to take all those pills and see doctors?
I'm gonna take a walk around the block. And when I come back, you better leave your keys and your birth certificate.
No.
Because I'm gonna take my name off that birth certificate. Because you're no longer my son.
No, Dad, please.
Don't touch me!
Dad, I don't want to lose you over this.
Don't ever call me Dad.
What am I going to do?
You!
Hello?
What's this?
It's the salmon that you ordered.
Salmon? Sea bass!
We said that we have no sea bass left. So
No. I rang you last week. I told you it was a special occasion.
Right.
I needed sea bass.
So the situation is that we have no sea bass at the moment. We've made this
You
clear.
again.
Right.
Look, I just got off the phone with the head office. A complaint about you. A complaint about you yesterday. Another complaint today.
I told him I wanted sea
Look,
bass.
I'm really
It's
sorry.
a special
We're going to do our best.
I have a great staff team. I know the headquarters wants us to bring in more money, but I need to be patient with my new team. I need to talk slower.
Look, I'm really sorry. Look, can I make amends? Look, I know I've had some bad reviews in the past, but
How
really.
can you just talk to the customer?
Okay.
Satisfy the customer.
Okay. So look, we're going to talk.
I really wanted to have a good week. I'm a good worker, and I want everyone to see that. I need to take time to breathe. Just breathe. If all else fails, go take a walk.
Stuck him!
Okay. Look,
Okay, I do apologize.
I want my sea
I
bass!
extremely apologize. On behalf of the company, on behalf of the team, I apologize. Sir, please,
Okay,
we
I'm going to
will
check this with the
satisfy
chef.
you.
Yeah.
We will give you a free meal of your
Yeah.
choice this evening. And it's
Okay.
coming out of your wages. Okay. Sorry, extremely sorry. We apologize.
My sea
I just
bass!
can't believe there's so many complaints over here. Targets are not being met. This is December. Revenue is supposed to be up. Revenue is down. And there were just so many complaints. What kind of a staff are you? Where did you come from? What happened to your training?
Dad's been gone for a year, and this is his favorite restaurant. He really likes coming here. These people don't know that Dad died a year ago. I need to chill, be more patient, because that's what Dad would have me do.
Dad, I know you wanted this occasion especially. I said it when you passed that I would go and celebrate by having our sea bass. But they've spoiled, they've ruined my occasion.
I'll be all right. Maybe have a nice glass of wine, but I'll be all right.
Sea bass.
Claire, can you help? I need to talk to my doctor. Trin. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Doctor.
Martin.
Doctor.
Martin.
Doctor.
I'm going to refer you to my therapist.
Good, great.
Ring.
Hello?
Therapist?
Doctor.
Therapist.
Doctor.
Therapist, I will refer Martin.
2022. Closest
What?
date.
What are you talking about? 2022? What am I going to do then? Until there, kill myself? Is that it? Is that what you want? Help me out, Claire.
I'll quote you.
Okay. Let me call my doctor first. Ring.
Hello?
Doctor.
You're not referred. You're not on our records.
What are you talking? Again?
No, I can't.
It's me, Martin.
No, I can't. You're not referred to us.
Gee.
Sorry.
Okay. Now, there's yours, my friend. Ring. Dad! Dad! Can you help? No? Okay. Call Mom. Call Mom. Mom! Nothing. You can help? Ring. Sister. Oh, again. What is this? No one can help? I'm gonna talk to Claire.
What we'd like you to do is ideally turn to a neighbour in front or left or right of you that you don't know and just talk about perhaps what's come up for you now that you've seen those 4 scenes. We'll give you a minute or two just to chat to somebody next to you, left of you, maybe someone that you don't know that you met for the first evening here, and just have a conversation about what's come up for you witnessing those 4 scenes.
Kind of really shows the struggle along the way. I think the first 2 really interesting, like especially because the language was quite cool and like very.
I myself got PTSD and I've had to like push for about a year and a half to now get therapy, you know, but even before, but now I'm receiving it, but I remember even before the pandemic, it was still a struggle, depending on where you are in London as well, different boroughs will create different views.
Yeah, and so, like one of the situations where one of them was going to commit suicide, you know, like stuff like that. So the last one it's about the dad.
Old school mentality in the family of people who not accepted who you are, you know what I mean? It did trigger a lot, but it's good to see that it's been brought back to light again, if you know what I mean. It's still going on, even though when the world gets a bit more open and be more diverse and everything, but it's still relevant.
I thought it was amazing that because this is a random group of men who starting to work together and they've chosen to present this issue. I thought it was really amazing. I thought it was really great.
I thought it was amazing too. I don't know if I could even gone and do that. Even though I'm acting, I don't know if I could be brave enough to actually do that. Because I think,
And there isn't anyone for people to talk to. And so you can get a sense of desperation, I guess. It can become catastrophic. Something that starts off quite mild can become quite catastrophic if you just
It's happened to me. What was your situation? My situation was my stress level got to a point where I exploded. I went a bit loopy in the brain. I started doing things that was irrational.
Would anybody like, you're not obliged to, but would anybody like to kind of share what you were perhaps talking about? Yes, sir.
So we spoke about the first sketch in which we were focusing on a father whose life was not what the family members had thought it was, and they were ashamed and embarrassed. And we were saying that this happens in real life. And when the doors close and the coffin's gone down, the family members probably carry that with them. It doesn't just stop there. And then it potentially continues because it then potentially passes to the next generation, the next generation. We were kind of discussing, well, is there a way to stop it? Or is it that, well, if something happens in the family, it just poisons everybody else afterwards? And we were kind of saying that it would take somebody to say, you know what, let's draw a line. Let's ask for forgiveness. Let's make peace and stop it from going further.
Put your hand up if you relate, connect, and identify what this gentleman was saying. See what we've got in the room.
What we said.
Keep your hands up if you connect and relate to what this gentleman has just said. Can anybody suggest any recommendations of how do we deal with that? What are the steps that could be put in place for that not to happen in the way that we saw it? Can anybody give any recommendations, suggestions?
There needs to be more openness and honesty.
Amongst the whole family?
Amongst the whole family.
Is that easy to do in families?
No.
So how do we make it easier?
So one way could be like the family agreeing to have a space or like a meeting where everyone's going to make a particular effort to try and be more receptive to what other people are saying. So rather than it kind of being more spontaneous, it being something that's everyone kind of agrees to enter into that space and say, cool, if you're talking, I'm going to actually try and listen.
Thank you very much. Somebody else who was talking about a different sketch, a different issue that has come up for them that you shared with your partner. Tell us what you were talking about.
The situation at the restaurant, I believe it was, with the fish.
The restaurant, yeah, with the fish, the sea bass.
Yeah, the sea bass, that was intense. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Why was that intense for you, sir?
It's like, because I feel like most of the time when we go through our day, we don't like to listen to one another. Like, we like to, everybody to see the problems that we going through, and we want somebody to listen to us, but we not trying to listen to the next person. So I feel like, that's an issue, because I feel like, sometimes we need to approach everybody in life with a little more open mind and not with out of an ego and ignorance perspective, because other than that, you're just gonna act out of that, and that's how it's gonna be. This is just gonna keep going on. It's gonna be a cycle of that. Person sitting down complaining about the fish, he in that moment he didn't think or realize that that person that serving him, he might be going through some things too. Mm-hmm. So that might have been like a little issue. And then maybe when we start approaching one another, like okay, I'm going through shit. He might be going through shit, so we might, try to tone it down a little bit for one another and listen to one another and have more patience with one another in order for things to develop in a more proper way. And that, that way, it might help everybody mentally. And then that way we could progress, you know what I'm saying?
You're nodding your head, going in agreement, is that right?
It was us two talking.
You're nodding your head in agreement, is that
yeah, it's something, yeah, exactly, yeah. Sometimes we see things too black and white, for want of a better expression. And we need to be a little bit more tolerant.
A bit more tolerant?
Yes. That might not be the right word, but you know what I mean. And I find, myself, when I meet people from different walks of life, you have to think about where they're coming from as well, instead of thinking about yourself and your own issues.
Okay, thank you.
I'd just like to add to that.
Yes.
Behaviour is need.
So in relation to the sea bass
to the same sketch,
yes.
Behaviour is need. So it's like asking yourself the question, what could this person need right now? Or even asking that person, what is it that you need right now? Rather than, like you say, just matching them energy for energy. So behaviours need people.
Okay, thank you. Is anybody else was talking about a different scene? And was there a final scene that people want to share? Anybody final wants to say anything? Yes, we've got this Lady, and then Mia at the back, quickly.
The mental health scene?
The mental health, doctor, therapist, patient. What about that?
So speaking from personal experience and knowing people during these different lockdowns that we've gone through, mental health support was a struggle before COVID, and it seems like it's just been amplified even more so because all the services have been pushed back or they've been stopped altogether. So you might have someone who is in a bit of a crisis, but they can like wait for 24 hours. But you might have someone who's more vulnerable, where they need immediate help there and then. And I've heard a lot of stories from people that I know who've struggled to get that immediate help. So what does that look like? Will that person hold on for 24 hours, or will that person take matters in their own hands, whatever that may look like? I don't know, but it seems to be.
What is it that that person could do, or at that moment when they've got no other alternative, what else could that person do in that vulnerable moment?
Reach out to someone, a friend, family.
What else? Yes. Samaritans. What else could they do? What other options do they have? Recovery cafes. If they're able to reach out. Is there anything else that this person
Go to
could
your group.
go to the Black Men's Consortium group? Anything else that a person could do in that vulnerable stage where they're trying to get through, being told, come back next year, trying to get through to the doctor, being bounced back to the therapist? They can kill themselves, but is there anything they could do to help themselves? Is what we're trying to throw up here. Crisis team at A&E. Is people relating to this? Is this making sense? Or have people tried these and gone, no, well, I've got a different view and opinion about these?
From personal experience, it could be 50-50 because it depends on what day of the week it is, what time of the day it is, and then what access of services that you have exposed yourself to. Some people don't know what their options are. So, like with myself, when I haven't reached, say, my therapist or my peer group or what have you, I may call up Samaritans, even though some people have seen the Samaritan number around train stations and public places. Some people may still not know what that number is, right? So in that critical moment where it's difficult to reach your friends, it's difficult to reach your family, people might be at work, people might be looking after their kids, whatever the issue may be, that's what I'm talking about. That pinnacle point when you need it the most, when you're the most vulnerable, what do you do without being too self-destructive?
Oh, sorry, Mia, yes.
Yeah, I work in mental health, and during the pandemic, between four of us, we had 150 clients to speak to on the phone every week.
150 clients to speak to every week during the pandemic?
Yeah, just to give you an idea. So as much as some Caribbean people say lockdown has happened, expect another lockdown, and just to recognize that people need to reach out to their neighbor and friends and just check in with them and check that they're okay, and get in touch with local community groups that are on the ground who work in mental health to get the support they need.
We're going to show you some short video footage now, and we'll ask for your interactivity and feedback on that.
Which is obviously part of my identity. I love Jamaican jerk chicken recipes, and I also like pepper pot and roti. Roti and curry goat. Ooh, that's a tough one. My favourite. I don't have a favourite food. I just like food. So my favourite food would be Indian food. I love biryanis and curries.
What did you resonate? What did you connect with watching some of that?
Spending time wisely is an important thing to concentrate on, or try at least the best, because it's not easy to just say, okay, we're gonna do this and that with the time, but I feel like it's an important topic to concern.
I thought it was interesting how the theme of father, the absent father, came up. And I'm sure as I look around the room, many of you here are all fathers, and I wonder how you relate to your own children in the way that the guys on the screen talked about the relationship that they wish they had. And I wonder if it resonated with men in here who've got children, and how they spend their time, free time, or parenting time with their children, and whether or not they realise that the impact they're having on their children today. Quite interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got 2 more things in store for you, and we've kind of, not that we're saving the best till last, but we do have 2 more things to share with you. Before we do share those things, what we'd like you to do, just for one moment before we move into that, take a look around the room. You'll see the pictures on the wall. You may notice who those people are. The pictures were taken by Fleeta. Fleeta, can you stand up, please? Fleeta took these pictures and did the video work. I don't know what the images mean to you when you look at the bigger pictures, but these men were brave enough to make these bold statements. We also have these pictures over here, these smaller ones, which were taken by Terence. Terence, can you stand up, please? And Terence likes to introduce...
Now, I'm Terence. I'm a recovering addict from, drugs and alcohol and mental health issues. And these are right minute canvases that I bought from the shop. And they're just based on acrylic and stuff like that. It didn't take no long period of time, but I created it for the group. Yeah, so that's it.
Last week, this is relevant to each of us, I went to the launch of blackbreastcancer.com, and it affects men, and I just want to leave that there for everybody. Website launch, blackbreastcancer.com, launched at the department store last week Thursday. Please have a look at it. Breast cancer can affect men.
I particularly like that picture, this one up here. What does that say to you, this one here? Hiding. Hiding from what? The world. What else could it be if it's not the world?
It's growth.
Pressure.
It's growth.
Grandma. It's growth.
Yeah.
What else could it be if it's not any of these things? Hiding from self.
He's not hiding, he's been strangled by the weeds.
He's been strangled by the weeds. What else could it be this picture means?
He's surviving.
Surviving.
Finding safe place. Yep. Finding safe place.
We'd like to invite you into our gallery. Next door in our gallery are some portraits, some live portraits. Stand anywhere you want, come in. Try not to make any noise, but just stand anywhere you like. You're looking at the portraits. That's what we're looking at, the portraits.
Lenny never really knew how to talk about his feelings. People would ask, how are you? But they didn't really mean it. When he talked in the boards, we play like MJ and beat it, screaming into his pillow to stop himself from weeping. Don't know how to express, so instead I keep silent. Quietly sat here on my own, man, I feel like an island. I saw a post from Cynthia happy with her friends, and I'm sat here on this bridge wanting to meet my end. I wish I was a bird so I could fly out of this place. Fly, escape high into space. Be free from all this pain, because it's never gonna change, it's never gonna change, it's never gonna change. I just wanna be a bird and fly free from all this pain. This is to those who suffer in silence, who to themselves commit a quiet violence. Know that you are not alone. Know that when you, in those dark days that come in waves and drift ever so slowly like hurricanes come, that storm will pass eventually. We never really know what someone is going through, so know that a smile or simply asking, how are you, and taking the time out to listen can to someone mean the difference.
Just locked up in this space. but this is a pressure. What more can I do? I've got a long time left to do. I'm just consistently, day by day, looking through this window. Just locked up in this space.
The myth around mental health, a taboo about mental health. What is mental health? Why is it 1 in 3 of us suffer from mental health? But define mental health. We don't talk about mental health. Oh, mental health, there's something wrong with you. You've got issues. You've got to go get yourself checked out. But what is mental health? What is one's emotional well-being? Define that. Where is it? It's not on the outside of us. It's where? On the inside of us.
I don't know what's wrong. I feel stressed. I'm afraid. I'm uncertain of what's happening in my mind. My emotions are going everywhere. Something is affecting my mental health, and I wish I knew what it was. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what I should be doing. Something's affecting my mental health and my well-being.
I'm worried. I'm worried that I'll never be a man. I'm worried I'll never be a black man. I'm worried I'll never be a mixed race man. I'm worried I'll never be a fucking man. You see my skin and you think, another JD other. You see my skin and you think, another person for Love Island. You think I have no feelings. I'm worried that if I show my emotions, you'll say I'm weak. I'm worried. I'm worried that if I smile at you, you'll say I'm weak. I'm worried. I'm worried that if I ask for help, I'll become weak. I look at your faces and you look at me. Do you see a man or do you see a boy? Hold out your hand and let me be free so I can be my authentic self. I am afraid, but I am me.
Don't be afraid to speak of your mental health, because I know things are hard, things are bad. Even people walk like they are mad. Even my mother, water comes from her eyes. Even my father, water comes from his eyes. Things are hard. But people, listen. This tune is a tune for you. Tell all you people, get out of the blue. Just get up, get up. Stand up, stand up. Things are hard. Things are sad. But people, raise your hands and be glad.
Okay, so I'm Sinclair. I'm a graphic artist, visual artist, and I've been doing graphic harvesting during this session. So it's been a 6-week program. And for the 6 weeks, we started off by playing games and getting to know each other. So this scroll just shows, this is done in real time actually in the session. So I have a very long piece of paper and I just draw the things that are happening in the session. So this is some of the men that took part in the session. So in the first week, there were many questions that were asked, and one of them was, has anyone ever been depressed? Has anyone ever felt like killing someone? Has anyone ever been on medication? Has anyone experienced racism? Has anyone felt alone? So we explored these questions, and people shared. So what did you notice? Some of the things that were noticed was that we all have barriers. Some people felt embarrassed. There was a big difference between thinking about committing suicide and actually trying to commit suicide. I didn't want to stand in the middle. So I'm just going to continue to scroll through this, and you can see some of the things that we discussed and some of the games that were played. So this is day 2, actually week 2, and we played a game called Egg, Bird, or Enlightened Being, which was really, really good at creating connection between us all in the group. So who we are. So we felt like sometimes we were wearing masks, there were lies, deceit, and a big question came up. And this is a little bit mind-boggling question, but I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. I don't know. Did everybody hear that?
No, it's not yours. They're talking at the back.
Okay. So, Are You Going to Heaven, which was another game that we played. And I'll just quickly scroll through this to some of the other things that we got to. So these are some of the things that we noticed while we played these games. Insights, teamwork. Sometimes we had confusion, feelings of aggression, not being listened to, not being heard. So what improves your mental well-being? So this is quite interesting. Art, sound, music, meditation, taking small steps, silence, exercise, journaling, massage. So these kind of things help with some of the things that we struggle with mentally. Another question was, how could the services around us improve? So walk and talk education, more therapists that look like us, more therapists that look like the actual person that's in the therapy session. This is very important. And funding as well was something that came up quite a bit too. So Hands Up Brothers, we played some more games on the 3rd week, got to know each other a bit better. So I know it takes a little while to go through. So we did some miming, some role play games. So this is when some of the plays that you just saw, when like the beginning stages, some of those ideas were growing. So who wants to act? Most of the men in the room, yes, they definitely want to act and express themselves. So one of the plays that you saw was, this one I don't think turned into an actual play, but it was, there was a character that had, his girlfriend was on an app, a dating app, and she was kind of publicizing herself. And there was a whole discussion around that, about trust. And so I want my money back. This was the restaurant one. You were fired. You remember that? Like, you wanted the sea bass. So there was another idea that was explored around male, ego, and it was about a father not being able to pay for his children's cinema time, and then our uncle said, "I'll pay for it." And there was this whole thing around just, what it means to be a man and to take care of your family. So week 4, we looked into what bombs were in our lives, like what things could explode and change our lives completely. And we played a game where we had to listen to each other with our eyes closed and walk around the room. And that was really a game of trust and, depending on others, deep listening, navigation, a musical orchestra of sounds were made in that space. So sometimes people bumped into each other, as you can see. So it was in partners. One person had their eyes closed, the other one was guiding them with sounds. So you had to follow the sound of your partner. And then some more role play. So this is actually the character that we saw who was working in the restaurant, but was feeling kind of berated by the people in the restaurant, his employee and the person who he was serving. So he wasn't good enough, didn't have training, doing what he loved. This is another idea that we were going to explore, the substitute music teacher. was quite fun. Doctor, Therapist, we saw that show, that performance. Then week 5, we kind of went into more of like what we were getting from the experience. So for all that were involved, it was amazing. There was a lot of empathy, a lot of connection, brotherhood, support. It felt like real life. We were playing these games, but we really felt like these were feelings that we experienced out in the real world, you know? And action, a reason to keep going, which was really important, you know, because, yeah, you know, feelings of suicide, feelings of not wanting to do this anymore, having this brotherhood helped a lot of the brothers feel like, you know, I have something to put my energy into, something to, yeah, to work on. So this was the other one where the guy got into a relationship at a club, and then his family found out. Who is James? This is the scene where the father and son were talking to each other, and you know, his son was seeing a man when he thought that he was with a woman. So creativity and abundance, a new level of trust, lots of material to share, a menu of delicious performances. Next week is going to be amazing. So this was our last week just before we did this session. So week 6, which was yesterday, we did some rehearsals. We kind of figured out the final elements of the plays that we were going to be doing this, brothers were going to be doing today. And yeah. So Doctor, helps team. This isn't Seabass. And then the monologues which you just experienced. So this is the rehearsals for us. So the young brothers exploring questions that really, you know, that we don't often share. And that was it. So
Fantastic.
When they are sort of, as I said, when they're denied or when they're just told blatant lies. So I would say it's a good thing that we're starting to have this conversation.
Anybody want to say anything? Yes, Amir.
The graphic harvesting was very powerful and very impactful.
You know, the idea of blackface.
Anything else people want to say about the monologues, the graphic harvesting, or what you're seeing up on?
I'd like to say something. I was sharing with a friend what was happening in the hall. I've come into this room, and that friend has sent me a text message saying that there's a 12-year-old that died by suicide after being told he'd go to hell for being gay. The parent says, reported in the Independent, a 12-year-old. This is not something that's happening out there, you know, it's real time. Homophobia is hurting people. Yeah? You might want to discard your child because you discover that they're lesbian or gay, but that's not the way to work it. I have been working for 12 years in a lesbian and gay youth club, trying to undermine some of this damage that's been taking place. The Voice newspaper, I challenged them over their homophobia, and we managed to get them to adopt an equal opportunity policy for their own organization.
Anybody else want to say anything?
Can I say something?
Yes.
I asked the question earlier on, but having seen this has fully explained the whole process to me, and I think that this whole room here has been just mind-blowing to me, because although I've seen what you did in terms of the conclusions to this storyboard here, I think that fantastic. Good work. Good work.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wayne Chin, born and raised in Brixton. I've spent 5 to 7 years homeless, and in my time as a homeless person, I've taken on photography. And what I do now is I've taken
photography of places where I've stayed on the streets, places where I've escaped to, and things which represent how I feel at certain moments in time. I now sell my work to put food in my belly and to keep the roof over my head. Any questions about particular photography which I've taken, feel free to ask, because each picture has a story. Brilliant.
Okay, don't forget to answer the 3 questions, and if we can go back to the main room for the final conclusion.
Watch me, as I fill my cup, overflow with love, cause I am enough. Yeah, watch me, yeah, and shine on you. You can shine yours too. Be nothing but light anyway. So shine bright in this place. Kind of be an evolution in a world full of destitution. Everyone wants a best solution. Self-love. Self-love is the revolution. Self-love is the revolution. You wanna know the best solution? Self-love is the revolution.
Comfortable. The last thing I want to read out was some of the group members spent some time during our final week's Monday evening rehearsals, and some of them have they've given me a manifesto, but I'm changing it into a Hugh manifesto. So I just thought I'd read it to you. It's in development, and I think what's going to happen is that the men will work on it when they come back after the new year, working more. So, we are an ever-growing group of black men who are concerned about mental health and well-being of black males of all ages. We decided to form the Black Men's Consortium to show in a visual way the struggles of black men and the possible solutions.
That's right. That's right.
We encourage sincere and expressive performances through understanding a character's inner motivations and emotions. We aim to use a range of mediums to communicate our community, including plays, poetry, art, film, animation, sound, word, and phrase. There is a truth and honesty about the work that we produce. There is no subject that we will not cover, from COVID to classism, from suicide to sexuality. We will portray these subjects and integrity and in passion. Our Hugh manifesto is to do no harm, to educate the educators, the educated, and the less educated. To communicate stories for those who cannot communicate their story. To empower, to uplift, and to enlighten spirituality and mentality, and mentally, physical, emotional health and well-being. To always use our power as a group to protect the vulnerable. To work with the government to change unfair, damaging, or discriminatory medical practices and laws. To educate and work side by side with doctors, nurses, psychologists, politicians, and all the other people that come into our lives. To console, to uplift, and give confidence, and to congratulate black men of African descent, whoever they are, whatever shade they are, on this planet. To change or obliterate stereotypical and destructive views. And to finally, to show how trauma can be passed down through the generations and how we as black men can begin to break the cycle for the next generation. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it's over to you. Question and answer. Black Men's Consortium. Any questions that you want to ask about anything? Their time.
If you were walking past and you saw an incident where a policeman or several of them were interacting with a black male, what would you do?
I would I would intervene. If it's a problematic situation where I feel the officer using force against the black man, I would intervene and question, like, what are you doing? Why have you stopped this individual? I wouldn't be one of those bystanders that would just either walk away or turn a blind eye and just stand there with their phone. No, that does not help the situation. That just aggravates it and makes it worse, in fact. What we need to do is stop the standing there with the camera phone, and really intervening and interacting and saying, what you're doing is not right. As an officer, you're going too far, you're overstepping the mark, right? And that's my personal opinion.
Yeah. Addition to that is going to the individual and saying, is there anybody you want me to call?
Yes.
Is there anybody you want me to notify?
Yeah.
Do you have legal representation?
Mm-hmm.
Are you under the mental health? Is there somebody we can talk to? So, those are the things that I would do as well. And most importantly, ask, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you feel safe?
I think it's also really important to mention, like, the police force has such a big backing behind it. When you look at one police officer in his uniform, it's not just that person you're looking at, you're looking at an army of people. And that's what makes them feel so tall and like a giant that can do anything. So I think it's solidarity as well for the brother or whoever is going through whatever they're going through, their crisis. If they feel that they have a backing, so that they know that they're not going to be harmed, they're in safe company, they've got people that look after them and love them, and that will protect them as well.
And then also it's very important to know the law as well, to have a good idea what they can do, what they cannot do. So when you challenge them like correctly, so that they know that you know what you're talking about. And once they know that you know what you're talking about, then that give you more power. And I kind of like silence them slightly, but it's important for you as an individual to know the law.
In line with what Grandma said, that prevention is better than cure. So it's important for us also to know what the law says, what we can do, what we're not allowed to do. Because sometimes we might arrive in the middle of a situation we don't know at the beginning.
Exactly.
We might be contributing to the problem. So it's important for us also to be aware of what the law is, where we stand, how we stand, to give the best result.
I mean, the question should be like, if you see a policeman using extreme force on someone, how do you manage that situation? Because as my brother said, we don't know what's happened before that situation.
But I think it would be good if more of us could just go up and say to the person, is there anything I can do to help? Because often we look and we're thinking, and we walk away. And also I think we should all give our children and other people, the note that's going around about, how to react if you're in that kind of situation. What do you do so you know your rights and you know exactly how to operate? Because often we don't, and we just walk away and we're thinking, oh well, he must have done something,
We could do with a training of what we need to know.
Yes.
What I'd like to know, you've created a brotherhood amongst yourselves, and how do you feel that you've benefited by coming together to develop this consortium?
I think you said it. We all come from different backgrounds, but in the end, the root comes from the same ground. So it's I almost describe it as that we just come together. We find there's a certain vibe and energy that exists. And I always equate it to sometimes when you go to a club, there's a music playing and everybody's moving to that same rhythm. And then somebody comes in and they all go into that same rhythm. And that's just what happened with this group. They all kind of go into that same rhythm. And I think it's beautiful. It's like this drum beat.
Okay.
When we come together, there is a respect in the space. There's an honor. And we refer to each other as the kings. Don't walk in the space disrespectfully. Don't interrupt the space. This space is by far the most important and empowering space as a black man I've been in. I am years of age. Been in different spaces across the globe, but this particular space is extremely healing, empowering Most of the guys that I've never met before. We come from different parts of London, do different things, from different backgrounds, some in faith, some not in faith, doesn't matter.
Different countries.
But when different cultures. But when we come together, there is such a respect and a love and an honor that you don't find anywhere else. No, I won't use that one. But it's a very important space. And for other brothers who are not part of this space, you need to stop by and learn how we connect and how we relate and how to share and how to be transparent and how to heal. So that's what the space does. And that's what I think it will continue to do. So this is, for me, it's the first time I've been here. I think for a number of the brothers, they've been in other productions prior to this as well. And so next time round, we'll be back.
I know that there isn't anything, I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm sure black men would benefit from doing things who don't live in London, who might live in Manchester, who might live in Birmingham, who might live in Leicester or Coventry. So is there any plan to expand it to the brothers in those areas?
So I was introduced to the Black Men's Consortium last year by someone from Birmingham. So I spoke to Tony and Tony said, come down, I'm gonna see what it's about. I came and I fell in love with it and the process. And one of my words, I'm able to cathart, express. But I've recently stolen a phrase from Shaka. So you asked the question, what do we bring when we come together? And for me, it's me being comfortable with my vulnerability. It's not mine, it's Shaka's. He coined it. And when he said it, I thought, my God, that resonates. I am comfortable with my vulnerability. And I think that's what we experience. Comfortableness with our vulnerabilities.
When we were having the discussions earlier, I was speaking to a young woman, and she talked about all the assumptions that young people have about older men, and older men have about young people. So my question is, are you doing any intergenerational type of work? Do you work with younger people?
I think the youngest we've had in the group has been about 18, and the oldest that we've had is 71. And over the different iterations of the project, we've had a whole range of intergenerational groups of men come and get involved.
Yeah, I'm 26, so yeah, I'm not the youngest. But yeah, me and Tony are on a WhatsApp group for creatives, and that's how I found out about it. So that's how I came along. And have been welcomed by all these guys, and it's been great. So yeah, that's kind of me.
I don't look it, but I'm 30 years old, 31 next month to be precise. Very young, I look very young, but I found out about the Black Men's Consortium when I was, I think, was it summer? Before summertime, I found out about the Black Men's Consortium, and I'm open to trying new things. So I said, yeah, let me go there, see what it's like. At first, I was a bit, hesitant expressing my vulnerabilities, but then after the first session, I felt comfortable, I felt more welcome, and then, as Trevor said, as Granddad says, I should say, I was comfortable with my vulnerability.
Can I just, there's a question as earlier on the gentleman talked about, we put on about homosexuality in the play. I just wanted to address that. It is very important that we tackle everything within our community. We often tackle one thing and then leave out other things. So as our group, we try and embrace every bit of our Black culture, our Black being, or whatever it is. It's important that we address everything and give everything a bit of a platform so that it can reverberate outwards. And that's really our job. That's what we're trying to do. Mentally. No, was that you?
It was,
So my question, and this is to all of you, what would you say to your younger self that would help you along your way? If you could talk to your younger self, what was the one thing, I'm sure there's a bunch of things, what is the one thing that you would say to a younger self that would help you along your way?
Don't let other people's baggage bring you down. Seek help when needed. Be on my purpose and still get distracted.
Speak up more and try and learn more about my personal history.
The world is your oyster. Go out. Each one teach one. Be present.
Don't suffer in silence.
I think for me, it will be to be the best that I can be and always strive to do good.
It's okay to be you.
It's okay to cry.
Join a weekly group that involves black men.
I would say to my younger self, focus on your focus until your focus becomes your focus.
Oh, that's deep.
I shared this with the guys yesterday. You are a once in an eternity expression of divinity, wrapped in humanity, designed to leave the world a better place.
It's okay to ask for help.
Be yourself. Everybody else is taken.
Always consult your heart first.
I kind of wanted to ask, have you began kind of unpacking how black male mental health also interacts with black women or people who are younger in the community? Just because, so I work for a gender-based violence charity, and black women are really overrepresented in domestic violence statistics, and I think it'd be silly for us to miss the fact that like there is a very big crisis with mental health, but that's having a direct impact on black women in so many different ways. So yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, have you interrogated that? Have you interrogated your relationship with misogynoir and maybe how black male mental health has an impact on black women negatively? Have you got there yet, or?
Has being in this group forced anybody else to actually take more of a practical hand in their mental health, such as actually going to therapy or actually seeking further mental health?
For me personally, being part of this group has enabled me to grow as a human being and able to communicate more effectively with my partner and therefore with my children, because it puts the YCR society at the moment, men are trailing behind, and we need to catch up with you guys instead of you coming down to us. And I respect women in the sense that you guys have carried that load for so long. No, I'm owning up to it. You've carried that load for so long, and you have never had support. And I think what this group has done for me is allow me to be supported. And that means active listening. That means active listening to my kids, to my wife, and to people around me. And therefore, when I walk this walk, he's seen a human being who's able to stand up to anything that comes towards him and to defend his family. So that's where I come from. The question you asked about therapy, I've been to therapy quite a few times. I think many of us have been to therapy. And I told, if you're going to have an MOT in your car every year, you should go to have therapy at least once a year if you need it. And therapy doesn't necessarily mean something you pay for it. It could be a good friend. It could be anybody that's willing to listen to you actively and help you be empathy with you. That's what therapy is about. So yes, I will embrace all that. And what you said, because at the end of the day, we are family. We are a family. And it doesn't have to be man and woman. It can be man and man, woman and woman. It doesn't matter. It needs that in order to bring up a community. So we have to work together. We have to also mend the damages that's been happening throughout the centuries. And we are the damaged product, and we're working on that.
Well, as a mental health patient myself, I'm in the system. I'm labelled under schizoaffective disorder, which, yeah, they say, but I argue that. Yeah, that's what they say. So what I'm trying to get at, and the point I'm trying to make is that not everyone understands. You have to be open and understanding. You have to listen. You have to care, not only for oneself, but for your fellow man, your fellow woman, your fellow child. That for me is key, and that is what we as a society need to start doing more. As a people, we definitely need to do that, because our younger generation, the way things are going right now, the waywardness, the killing, it's real crazy out here, and we need to protect our children. That's what I mean, the youngsters, the children, because they're the future.
And the elders as well. The elders are there. Remember, there's a spiritual being between the young and the old leaving, the younger coming forward. There's a spiritual connection there. We must not break that connection. We must keep that connection strong. So we need to literally protect all.
So to help as well, I have two mentors, and they are invaluable. They are absolutely invaluable. They help me to learn how to be a good husband, a good son, a good brother. I'm 63 years of age, and I need those two mentors. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Thank you very much.